Memorial Day is a time to honor the fallen, but what happens if we start asking why they fell in the first place and who they really fell for? This Memorial Day, the skies offer a haunting echo of our past wars and a chilling glimpse towards ones we may be marching towards again. So let's talk about what the stars are showing us this Memorial Day. This year, the stars are not silent. They're echoing through the halls of history, and they're asking us not to repeat it. On May 26, 2025, Venus is conjunct the United States natal Chiron in Aries in the U.S. fourth house, having to do with roots, homeland, ancestral memory. And this is not about romantic love with Venus there. This is about wounded loyalty, pain at the heart of a nation. It's a wound that says, I gave you everything. Why did you forget me? This Venus and Chiron alignment speaks to those who served, who were used, and unfortunately whose sacrifices were repackaged for profit. It's a national heartbreak that refuses to stay buried. Meanwhile, we have Pluto transiting the United States natal Pluto in the second house. This is a rare and defining moment known as the Pluto return, which has not happened since the founding of this nation. But here's the twist. America's natal south node is also tightly in conjunct with that Pluto placement. So what does that mean? It means this isn't just about transformation, it's about karmic payback. The past is demanding a price, and Pluto doesn't negotiate. General Smedley Butler, one of the most decorated Marines in U.S. history, told us plainly in his book, War is a Racket, that, quote, I spent most of my time being a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street and the bankers, end quote. And he listed the nations he had invaded not for liberty, but for profit. And later, John Perkins, in his book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, pulled back the curtain even further, revealing how economic warfare is used to cripple nations, trap them in debt, and set the stage for military intervention. These were not conspiracy theorists. They were insiders. They were veterans. And they were warning us. Today, a new narrative is being sold. Once again, it's in the Middle East. Once again, we're being told to stand with and defend a supposed ally. Once again, this is not about freedom. We're watching what looks to be a slow build of Gulf War 2.0, this time under heightened censorship, ideological manipulation, and the weaponization of grief. And many are beginning to ask, why does Israel receive unlimited military funding year after year, while our veterans sleep on the streets? And why are laws being passed or proposed to silence criticism of that foreign government under the name of combating hate, when questioning power has always been an American value? And why does every administration since JFK's assassination seem more loyal to lobbying networks and defense contractors than to the people of America and the U.S. Constitution? You know, when JFK pushed back against the nuclear ambitions and the foreign influence of this same ally, his presidency ended in a barrage of bullets. And while the official story still remains largely a mystery, many have pointed to deep state intelligence connections, foreign interests, and shadow networks who have ties to compromising materials and control over Congress, the very kind that have become impossible to ignore in the Epstein saga. Oh, we can see that right over here with Mars in the 8th house in Leo, where there is a lot of struggle and combative energy and tension having to do with the ruling class regarding deeply buried secrets, many of which are likely sexual. So the astrology of Memorial Day really is forcing a lot of these questions to the surface in America. Pluto is demanding the truth, Chiron is demanding healing, and Venus is demanding justice. And Neptune in Aries, which is newly arrived for the first time since 1861 when we had a civil war here in America, well, it's whispering, don't fall for another illusion wrapped in a flag. This Memorial Day, I'm saying this as, the descendant of many warriors in my bloodline going all the way back to the Revolutionary War. Let me say, I do believe, yes, we're being called to remember, but remember differently. Not just to mourn, but to question. Not just to salute, but to understand. Not just to honor the dead, but to stop the cycle that keeps creating more graves. Because if we don't ask ourselves who we're really fighting for, will keep losing our best people to wars that don't serve them or us. So this year, please honor them by remembering the truth that maybe you were never told, and don't let your children be next.